Welcome to Deer Feet. I'm Jess.
And I'm Renee.
And we're the Deerfoot sisters. And we're back!
One night only. But really as many nights as you want, because you can just replay these episodes.
Yes, that's true. So we are back with a special Season 1 bonus episode. And this episode is called Christmas in July because it is released on July 25th. And it's a special present to our adoring fans.
Yeah, and it's also recorded on July 25th, so.
We're recording it and releasing it in the same day.
We're pretty much super podcasters at this point.
Super podcaster!
So.
If you could have any superpower, what would it be?
I would have, actually, I used to say invisibility, but I've changed it. My superpower would be the ability to stop time, like freeze time. But I have some stipulations.
Okay.
I would be able to decide who I wanted to be unfrozen with me, and I wouldn't age during the time stop process, because if I stop time a lot, then I would get a lot older than other people. Mm-hmm. And also, if I had frozen time but something bad happened to me and I died, it would automatically unfreeze.
And you would have not died.
No, I would have died. I could have died, but I don't want to keep the whole world frozen forever if I happen to die. That seems selfish.
Very true.
So, those are my stipulations.
That's a good one.
Yeah, and honestly, it's for nefarious purposes. I would probably just...
But invisibility would probably be easier.
Invisibility would basically be the same.
Not quite, because... Okay, I guess because you could stop time far away from wherever you're going to do something bad.
Well, I wouldn't, do things evil, but I would just, make money or,
You would rob.
No, maybe, gambling, but, you work it in your luck, which is, I guess, robbing, but,
I feel like that would be dangerous, because they can usually tell when people are doing weird stuff.
They're not going to catch me, and if they do, I'll just freeze time and escape.
Okay, fine. All right, whatever. Interesting.
What would you have?
I would be
Flying.
a super podcaster.
Oh, so you've already achieved your goal?
Yes. No, flying, that seems like it would be tiring. No, I would want to be like Professor X. I would want to have extreme telekinetic and telepathic powers.
Interesting.
Yeah, I think because you could ascend. Yeah, I guess it would just be it's too much work for his brain to make himself walk. Because I feel like he could just float.
But maybe why? He just has a nice wheelchair. Why do that?
I don't know. It's just because it. Hey guys, we're back. So the system froze again. Same old stuff. So you can expect all the same boysenberries and business from the sisters in this bonus episode and in future seasons. For now, at least.
Unless someone gives us a nice Christmas in July present of new audio equipment.
It's more like a new computer.
New audio processing equipment, a.k.a. a laptop.
Yeah, cool. So anyway, we were just discussing why Professor X doesn't make himself walk. And then we said maybe it's because he wants to make himself seem more feeble. Because your enemies underestimating you is sometimes your greatest power.
Interesting. And did you know that your health is your most valuable asset?
I've heard that laughter's the best medicine.
I don't know about that. What if you have a stomach injury?
I know. It's no, medicine's the best medicine.
Yeah. All right, so what's on the agenda for today, Jess? Sorry, that's just her moving in her chair. It sounds a lot like farting, but it's not. I mean, it could be a combo, but she is moving in her chair a lot.
I was moving in my chair. So this week, what we're going to kind of talk about is we're going to talk about summer fun.
Yeah, so it's sort of halfway through the summer, sad face emoji.
Aww.
So we'll do our little midsummer review, tell you guys about what we've been up to so far, what we have planned for the rest of the summer, and then soon enough it will be fall and you'll be back to weekly chats with the sisters. Yay.
Also, I heard we use Podbean as our, I don't even know.
Host.
Yeah, as our RSS server host thing. So basically, they're releasing a new feature where you can do live streaming.
Oh.
Live streaming podcasts.
Interesting.
That might be something cool that we could do.
Yeah, so you guys can think about it now and all the clever things you want to say. And then when we ever host one, you can come on and tell us how great we are.
Exactly. All right, so what have we been up to this summer?
Well, we have been up to a lot of stuff. We went on a little trip to the glamorous town of Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania.
Yeah. We went out to visit our cousins. Shout out to the cousins who stopped listening. Thanks, guys. You're not true fans. Bye. No, that's okay. But they missed the episode where you talked about putting a hat on Nana and how cute it was. But anyway.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah, we went out to Pittsburgh, and I think it was really fun.
We had a good time. Yeah, we spent a lot of time in the pool. We played a lot of whirlpool tag, which is exhausting. And then we played initials, which is like a game where you give a category and then you say an initial for something in that category, and then people have to swim to you, and the first one to get to you can guess. So Jess was doing, or someone was doing types of trees.
Yeah, our cousin was doing types of trees, and he said bee. So I swam up to him, and I said beech tree. Oh, no, actually, someone else swam to him and said birch. And he was like, yeah. And I was like, oh, I thought it was beech tree. And he's like, beech tree? They're called palm trees.
And we were like, no, B-E-E-C-H. Well, for a second, I thought I had already said two E's. And I'm like, wait. B-E-E-C-H, not B-E-E-E-C-H. So, yeah, they're beech trees.
Wait, you said B-E-E-C-H, not B-E-E-E-C-H.
I know, that was 4 times.
Oh, but it's also not B-E-E-A.
It's definitely not B-E-A.
It's also not B-A-E.
Let's just stop.
It's also not B-E-A-C-H.
Right, it's not B-E-A-C-H. We did not mean
trees.
those kind. We meant B-E-E-C-H, as in actual beech trees. But yeah, that was pretty funny. There was another one that he said that was like...
No, then like, so it was Finn, Renee's stepson, and me and Bert and Renee that went, and then our cousins from whatever. But anyway, it doesn't really matter. But Finn and our cousin, the one with the beech trees, were like then getting really into doing Pokemon. I might have started it. So then they were doing Pokemon and like really like obscure, not necessarily even obscure, but like for people who don't play video games, you're never going to know the name of these like random video game characters. And they're like, they're in Smash. And I'm like, I don't know what that even means.
Yeah, they were getting a little too obscure for Jess.
And they were like, it's an ethereal type. And I'm like, what? I thought there was just like water type and fire type.
Yeah, it's more complex than that now.
I was like, I know nothing about Pokemon. I'm not a Poke trainer.
And then their dad's like, are you talking about Pokemans? And I'm like, you're like in your 50s. You're too young to be talking like that.
Actually, this was probably the best. So our grandma went with her dog, Sarah, and she was talking about how she had bought her this thunder coat thing that kind of helps her be calm. And then she basically said that what she has to do at home is she has to, when there's a storm, she has to go in the basement and eat freezer burnt ice cream in order to calm Sarah down.
Yeah.
Like, and I was like, wait, does it have to be freezer burnt ice cream? Like, can you eat fresh ice cream? Or is the dog like,
can you eat
where's the
yogurt?
ice crystals?
I think she more meant she has to keep the dog company in the basement, and while she's there, she eats freezer burnt ice cream.
Probably because you bought that and left it at her house.
Most likely.
Anyway, that was really funny. She like overheard her, and I was just like, why though, Nana?
Why on earth would you have to do that to calm down your dog? Oh,
but it would be really funny if it actually helped. Like if she was just like, oh, and ran downstairs, and as soon as she took a bite, the dog was like, I'm fine now.
I'm relaxed.
All is well with the world. So our one cousin got a new job as a hostess at this fun family
Oh, no,
restaurant.
that was another really funny thing that happened. Jessica totally snarfed. We were at this restaurant, Eaton Park, which is where our cousin had the job, but we were at a different one because it was on our way out. So it was Jess, me, and Finn. And we're eating lunch, and Finn goes to blow his straw wrapper at Jess, but his straw wrapper whipped across the restaurant and landed like right next to this kid on the other side of the restaurant. The kid didn't really notice, but it was like right by the kid's hand. So then I was like, oh my God, he's gonna touch it. And we were like laughing and cracking up. And then we started talking about like being mature.
I don't even know what made me laugh, but something,
I don't remember.
something made me laugh.
Basically, I think it was that thing when the kid was like gonna touch the thing. So she's like drinking her pink lemonade, and at first she's like kind of laughing, but then she's like not really. But then I'm looking at her, and just this thin stream of pink liquid starts to pour out of one nostril. She's like literally not even making a sound. It's just like coming out of her nostril. And then I was like, oh my gosh. And that's when she started laughing and like spit more of it out, and it like the rest came up through. It was really literally painful. So gross. It was like, I was just like looking at her normal face, totally calm, pink fluid dripping out.
Because you know when you have put some liquid in your mouth and you're like laughing and you're just saying to yourself, don't just like try not to laugh. Just hold this liquid in your mouth because you're going to snarf or spit it out. And so I was just holding it in my mouth, but I guess it was too close to my, like, nasal cavity or whatever, so it got sucked up there because I was chuckling a bit, and then it was dripping out my nose, and then I just went crazy. Yeah, then we were saying to Finn that he was mature, and I said, you're mature. That's a very mature way of saying the word mature. It's mature. And then Birdie said something like manure, and he goes, oh, now you're just making up words.
Yeah.
It was pretty funny.
Oh, man, that was a classic. Do you think everyone calls that snarfing? I don't think they do.
I don't know.
So snarfing is like when you laugh and liquid or other food stuffs can come out of your nose. We've always called that snarfing, but I'm not really sure where we got that or if that's like a common term.
Ooh. I just Googled the word snarf. Mm-hmm. And it is to eat or drink quickly or greedily. I thought that was like scarf.
I think it is scarf, but the way you said that just made it sound like literally like a scarf. Like a Christmas scarf in July.
Oh my god, I'm giving myself an aneurysm. Oh.
Yeah, I think that's scarf too.
Okay.
I feel like you scarf down your food. You don't snarf down your food.
Snarf is also the name of a character in Thundercats.
Wow. I wonder what he's like. Snarf is a terrible name. I should have named my cat that.
Yeah, no, then it... Apparently they're saying snarf. It's like, then it's an Urban Dictionary. To ingest food in an inordinately voracious manner. That's not what snarf is.
Well,
please let us know.
Yeah, let us know if you
how
use
you
snarf,
use the word snarf
to mean expelling food.
If we're the
out
only
your
people who use it that way, it's still the right way to use it. But still, I mean, this is really weird. Like,
I just never heard someone calling that snarf. I feel like they call that scarf. Yeah, like you scarf down your food.
There's a place called Snarf Sandwiches.
Ew, okay, let's like get off Google now.
Well, let me just Google scarf.
Hand knit or designer silk. All right. Yeah, so that was really funny. But then so where Jess was going before is our cousin got this job. She's like 14, right? So it's one of her first jobs. She's working as a hostess at this restaurant, Eaton Park. And we were going to go to the restaurant while she was working because we're like, oh, that'll be fun. But then we decided...
When she gets like a friends and family discount and then like a bonus discount if we go while she's working.
Yeah, which seems weird to me because I feel like why would they want to encourage people to go while you're working? That seems like it would be a distraction.
Because you're bringing people in, so they're probably like, oh, it's like your referral discount or something.
Yeah, I guess. So anyway, we decided to go, but we were like being a little goofy, and this cousin's dad works at like a wig warehouse, a wig manufacturer's warehouse. So... they have a lot of wigs at their house. I don't actually know why he had them at his house. I guess they just had like extra wigs and he's like, I'll take these.
Yeah, I think...
I'm not really sure.
That's true. I mean, they do have costumes and stuff, so he might have been like, oh, the kids like to play with them sometimes. Because she did have some in her bedroom.
Yeah, she did. So anyway, we were like talking about these wigs, and
you guys, our true fans, have seen the wigs. We posted the picture of it.
Right, so then we decided to try them on, and we were like, I was like, oh my god, we should all wear these wigs when we go to visit Taylor. Like, that would be really funny. And we didn't really think everyone would, but I like kind of said that as a joke, and then our younger cousin was like, yeah, we should really do that. So like, she's like, are we doing it? So then we decided to do it, and we got almost everyone in the family to participate. So then we like rolled up to the restaurant, and of course she was like really embarrassed.
She was mad. She was like, no, do not wear the wigs.
Yeah, she's a clap talker, so she did do that. And,
no, she didn't do that at the restaurant. She was just
she was like, oh my God.
No. And
she was just like walking away from us. Like, I don't know these people. And then she's like, everyone kept being like, why is your family all wearing wigs? And she's like, I don't know.
She's
They're
like,
so
that's
weird.
just the hair. I didn't get the family hair. I don't have new ravishing hair.
Yes, it was all the same style, but some in various shades. So, like, it was pretty awesome.
And it was so 80s. Like,
it was terrible. Absolutely terrible. But it worked. It was kind of unisex. Like, it worked on men and women.
Yeah,
because it was like a party mullet. And then the fronts were like weird bangs. Like, I don't know. It was like, like an 80s lady mullet. So the front just like literally stood up like straight. And I'm like, what is going on with this? It was very confusing.
It's really weird.
But that was really fun. And that's just like highlights how we're kind of freaks. So then, since we embarrassed the younger cousin, we decided we have to also embarrass the older cousin. So it was her graduation party while we were out there. It was one of the reasons we went. And we knew that they were going to have people over. So one day we were like playing in the pool and we were like making our whirlpool because we love making whirlpools. And for some reason, I think it was me. I started singing.
I think it was me.
I think it was me.
Pretty sure it was me.
I started singing Baa Baa Black Sheep, but then we're like, let's like sing it really creepy.
No, I think you started singing it, then I started singing it. And they were like, that's creepy. And then we were like all singing it.
So then we were like singing it really slow. So we're like, Baa Baa Black Sheep, have you any wool? Yes, sir, yes, sir. 3 bags full. And we're walking in a circle around the pool. It's like the middle of the night.
I have like really straight faces on, like.
And we're really creepily singing this. And then our one cousin went into the middle, and as we were singing, he's just like, bah, bah, like randomly interspersed in our chant. And I was like, this is really creepy. I'm like, we should definitely do this at Carly's graduation party. Like, when people start to get in the pool, we should just like form up and then just start circling and like stare at them and sing it. And we did, but nobody really noticed.
No, some people were like, that's weird.
Yeah, then we just kind of stopped because we were like, that is weird. But I mean, it was fun. Everyone was in good spirits, and it's really great, especially when teenagers can like be really goofy and fun, and they have crazy families, but they're okay with it for the most part.
Yeah.
So
I think it's fun. It was like, because then we went to this drive-in movie theater, and they were like playing Truth or Dare beforehand, and like the one dare was like, do 5 push-ups. Like, it was fun.
Yeah.
It was silly.
They were like, I dare you to go by that group of people and just scream and then run away. It's like, okay, that's weird, but fun. And then we went to this fancy cheese shop to get some cheeses for Tim. And they give you like all samples of all. There's like probably 100 kinds of cheeses in there. And they give you a sample of each piece like before you buy. And they're pretty generous with the sample sizes.
True.
And so they were giving us samples, and then they like gave one to Carly, or they were going to, and she's like, oh, no, I don't really like cheese. And the guy's like, get out. But then he said she could stay. But it was pretty funny.
So that was a fun trip. That was like the main thing. And then other than that, we've just been working at camp. It's fun times.
It's fun.
And the other thing that we did, we had book club on the beach, which was fun.
Yeah, I didn't read the book.
Later.
Oh.
We read Pride and Prejudice at our book club this time. Well, most of us did.
I didn't.
And we went in the beach, and the water was amazing.
Yeah, it was really
We got
nice.
really bad sunburn because I was in there for about like 45 minutes to an hour before Renee got down there because they came after a doctor's appointment or something. And then they came down and we hung out for a little bit on the beach. And then we went back in the water for like 3.5 hours.
Right.
And that's when we got the really bad sunburn because well, you guys saw it on our Instagram. Like, Birdie's sunburn was really bad because we were just...
They know me as Renee.
They also know you as Birdie.
Yeah, it was really bad.
Yeah, and like... But I was like, this was amazing. Like, the water was so nice. It was.
But
just,
honestly,
like,
my
really
sunburn,
good.
like, it peeled.
Well, I guess we're going to talk about the beach later.
It didn't peel everywhere. But Tim's, like, really peeled a lot.
Renee loves peeling sunburn. It's really gross. I mean, who doesn't love it, though, honestly? But she's, like, a fiend about it.
Well.
Is it your disorder?
Probably.
But does that help if it's not your own skin?
I don't know.
Because then I feel like you should just get something else to rip up instead of
my hands.
Instead of your paw pads.
Well, the thing is, there's nothing else I have on me literally at all times besides my skin.
True. So, do you want to tell them about that?
About my disorder?
Yeah.
I mean, sure, kind of put me on the spot.
We don't have to.
No, I mean, it's fine. Like, I have,
It's
like,
called snarfing.
I have, like, some compulsive behaviors, and one of them is that I pick at the skin, like, on my hands and feet, which, like, all my friends know that already. And it gets, like, really bad during times when I'm extra anxious. When I was a kid, it, like, really embarrassed me a lot. And I was worse about it, too. Like, I would pick at my fingers to the point where they'd bleed, on, like, a pretty regular basis. And, but it's, like, not super uncommon, actually.
But it's called...
Well, it's called dermatophagia, but then it's also sometimes referred to as wolf biting because instead of just picking, you, like, bite at your cuticles and, like, the skin. So it's not like biting your nails. Like, I never bit my nails or I don't bite my nails, but that's, like, all the skin around my fingers and on my feet, too. But I used to be super embarrassed about it, and then one time I realized, like, wow, nobody actually really cares.
Yeah, especially
like, it's kind of gross, but, like, if you just tell people, like, yeah, sometimes I pick at my hands, and then they're just like, okay, and they just, like, get over it. Like, and then I was like, wow, I feel really stupid for, like, 15 years of my life being so ashamed of this and, like, never doing handstands in the pool because I was embarrassed that people would see the bottom of my feet, and then, like, they really literally don't even care.
Yeah. I mean, the only thing is, like, if they know, they know, but then, like, if they don't know, they'll just be like, what happened? Because sometimes it's kind of bad, and they'll be like, what happened to your hand? And you're like, oh, it was me.
Like, I chewed it off. I gnawed on my finger. But it's like, yeah, I mean, I've seen other people have it. Like, one girl in our preschool camp, like, had it, and she would, like, pick at her skin, and then her mom's like, I was like, yeah, I actually do that too. And she's like, why? And I was like, it's compulsive behavior. Like, I don't go home and think to myself, like, oh, I feel like I'm going to pick at my skin later. Like, it's a compulsive, like, nervous tick, basically. Yeah. And then another girl I saw once had it, and I basically said something to her about it. But then she, like, just got really ashamed and, like, hid her hands from me. And I was like, I wasn't trying to embarrass you. I was trying to, like, relate to you because I do the same thing. But she was, like, really embarrassed. So then I felt bad.
Well, we try our best.
What can you do? Say lovey.
But so we basically decided to read Pride and Prejudice because...
So, yeah, nice segue. Right back.
Anyway, we basically decided to read Pride and Prejudice because I wanted to. And I was like, oh, it'd be fun to read it and then read a modern version of it. So our next book that we're reading right now is called Eligible, and someone decided to have it be another beach day. So we only had like a month or so. No, I forget. Yeah, it was about a month, but it's like 500 pages. But I think it's easy to read because it's like Pride and Prejudice isn't even really a hard book to read, and it's a fun story. And then this one's like more modern, and the chapters are all like a page.
So weird.
Because the Jane Austen chapters are short too, so I guess it's like very similar. But anyway, I was like, we could do a whole year of Pride and Prejudice retellings, and everyone was just like, no.
Yeah, I mean, you can mix it up. There's, like, a lot of other stories.
Yeah, I think we're going to do something spooky after, because then our next meeting will be, like, October.
Yeah. Ooh, Pride and Prejudice and zombies. Ooh.
I don't think that's, like, the thing that zombies do.
Haunted zombies do.
Okay. So I had this scary dream.
Mm-hmm.
I had told Renee about this, but basically I woke up and I was in the beer can room, and then and my arm was really cold.
Just one arm?
My left arm. And I realized it was because I was right against the wall, and the wall was cold. And then I realized, I was like, why am I even in here? I didn't fall asleep in here. I fell asleep in the sewing room, which I don't even know why we call it that anymore. But anyway, I fell asleep in the other guest room. So then I'm like, oh, I'm getting out of here. So I, like, get out, and then I didn't want to slam the door because it upsets my grandma if you shut it too loud, but you kind of have to shut it hard for it to actually latch. But then as I was leaving...
Also, interesting. She tends to slam a lot of doors. Side note.
Nana, not me. So then as I was leaving, I felt this, like, ethereal, like, creepiness on my arm. And I was like, oh, heck no. So I just kind of, like, left the door slightly shut and I don't run, but walked quickly.
Not even in your dreams?
I don't think I ran because I was like, whoa, and I just, like, quickly went into the other bedroom.
You skedaddled.
And then I was laying there. And then all of a sudden I feel a presence on my right shoulder, and I look over and it's this creepy ghost girl, kind of like from The Ring. And I was like, who are you? And she was like, Fern. And I was like, how old are you? And she was like, I am grown. And I was like, okay. And she's like, I want you out of here. And I was like, just me? Like, she's like, all of you. And I was like, and then I forget what she said. Do you remember the quote that she said? I was like, when? Like, do I have to leave right now, or can I leave tomorrow, or like in a month's time? And she was like,
it was like in the God's hour, like something.
Oh yeah,
weird like
she
that.
was like, it's before the God's hour is up, and I was like, how long is that? It's like a month. She's like,
feel like
it's
you
for
texted
me.
it to me.
Yeah, she's like, it's for me to know and for you to never know or something. And I was like, okay. So then I was like, she was like,
oh wait, here's the text. Then she said she lived here and said, I want you to leave. I said, just me? She said, all of you within a God's moment. I said, what's a God's moment? A second or a month? She said, that's a no, and for me to comprehend. Wait, what? That doesn't make sense. That's a no, that's not for me to comprehend. I said, we'll leave, and she smiled sinisterly and said, I'm going to blank you in the morning. I said, what? She said, torment. So I said, why? Why do ghosts do that? Weren't you a person once? Then I heard some strange noise and woke up in my own bed, and the noise was my breath against the pillow in my face. And then you texted me, creepy.
It was really creepy. But then, like, a couple days ago, I woke up in my own bed, and I felt a presence, and I was like, oh my God.
Was it Fern?
I didn't look.
What if you, like, turn it, it's just, like, a potted fern? It's like, that's such a weird name. Like, when's the last time you even heard someone, like, obviously the Arthur character, but, like, when's the last time you even heard someone named Fern?
I don't know.
It's so weird that you came up with that, like, out of nowhere.
It was creepy.
Oh, yeah, within a God's moment. That's how you should just, like, say things now. When people are, like, on the walkie-talkie at camp, like, Star, when are you going to be bringing the water jugs? Within a God's moment. And they'll be like, what? Like, it's not for you to comprehend. Like, really ineffective. Also, so we use walkie-talkies at camp, and we have our camp handles, aka our nicknames. So Jess is Star. And the last 2 days, she keeps, like, referring to herself as other people. So usually we'll say, like, Birdie for Star if I'm looking for Star. But she'll just keep saying, hi, this is Sunny. I'm looking for Star. Even though that's not true. And she is Star, and she's looking for someone else. And she did it, like, 4 times yesterday. So it was pretty embarrassing.
Yeah, it's awkward.
Honestly, you're probably the most embarrassing walkie-talkie user.
I'm an awkward person. In the camp training, at staff training, someone said something about something being awkward, and then, like, someone looked at me, and I was like, and then my boss was like, why is everyone looking at Star? And I was like, well, now they are. And I was like, I am awkward. Weird. I'm an awkward person.
Yeah.
Anyway,
You're
so.
a strange bird.
Wait.
Yeah.
Anyway. Oh, I saw a baby hare the other day.
Baby hare.
So, we're going to take a quick commercial break.
We'll be right back.
We'll be back after this quick commercial break.
This week's podcast is brought to you by the Beefy Boys. Just 3 cool dudes hanging out, talking about sports, video games, music, and whatever else they feel like. Find them at their website, www.beefyboys.com. Also, where you find your other podcasts, iTunes, Podbean, YouTube, you know, all the regulars. The Beefy Boys, the best show on planet Earth.
Hey guys, we're back.
Woo!
So, we already kind of started talking about the beach, but we're going to pick up with the beach because it's summertime. We love the beach. We've been going down to Seaside Park, New Jersey for our entire lives.
Yeah.
When we were young children, our family would rent this same house on, like, 10th or 11th Avenue every summer for, like, 2 weeks, and it was really fun. And we always had our routines. Like, one day we would, like, go back to the mainland to, like, get McDonald's. It was, like, random. And then we'd, like, go to the boardwalk one night and go to mini golf one night, and I'd knock Renee's teeth out.
Yeah.
That only happened twice, though.
We only knocked my tooth out once.
The other time it was your spacer or something.
No, you just knocked me in the head.
Oh, I just hit you in the mouth, but nothing came out.
Nothing fell out of my
Dang,
mouth.
wasn't hard enough. Well, I got points for the first time.
And you did get the hole in one, I think.
Yeah. But you didn't learn your lesson.
I know.
So
I'm such a fool.
The first time I was like, you gotta hit this one hard, and, like, wiggled my butt. And Birdie was like, I should stand in her backswing. Some people say say you don't have a backswing when you're playing mini golf. Not true.
When you're a star, you always have a backswing.
Just.
Oh, yeah.
So, yeah, we go to the beach. We love the beach.
I think we've talked about the beach before.
I feel like we have. But
So.
did we talk about the types of waves?
I do not remember.
I feel like we were going to talk about that. We might have already talked about it. I think we did.
If we talked about it already, here's a refresher because it's summer and it's probably more applicable now. So, probably we talked about the types of waves when we talked about our dad because he's the one who, like, named all the waves.
With us.
Yeah. Well, obviously.
Well, we named some of them. He didn't come up with all the names.
Yes, true. Okay. So, we have our few types of waves. So, like, the waves that you just, like, jump and float right over are called Jeffies. Right?
Those are called floaters.
Oh. What are Jeffies? Are the baby
There's no
waves?
Jeffy.
Yeah,
There's no Jeffy.
Yeah, the Jeffies are like the baby Jeffries.
No.
All right. Maybe I just made that one up on my own.
Those are floaters.
Okay, well, that's a gross name. So we should change it to Jeffries.
Jeffries now? Not
No.
Jeffies?
Yeah.
You said Jeffries.
And
And
then the
we gotta
baby
roll
ones
the
are
tape?
Jeffies. And then the regular ones are Jeffries. And then when they come up at the
So
last...
every wave is named after Jeff? That's stupid. That's the most stupidest thing I've ever heard in my life. And I just said the word stupidest. Is that a word? I don't even know.
most stupidest.
That's dumb.
I'm good at honors English.
That's really dumb.
Remember when you wrote that? What's your proudest accomplishment? I did good in honors English. Oh, maybe they need to reset their metrics.
Oh, remember when my favorite pastime was going to Disney World?
We all remember. So, okay, why don't you go through the types of waves, Chelsea? Since you seem to know them better.
Okay, so we have the birdies, the birds, and the grand birds. So, there's several types of waves. The ones that you just float over that are like rolling hills are called floaters. Sorry if you don't like the name. Look it up. It's called a floater. And then there's the ones that peak to like a crest that they're kind of fun to like jump over, but they kind of hit you in the head a little bit. A slight slap. Those are called Jeffries. And then the ones that slap you really hard, that are about to turn and you happen to get over them and they smack you in the face or the back of the head, those are called raging Jeffries. Then there's ones that have broken. So there's a rolling wave. It's all white and foamy.
You have two choices.
You can either jump over it with one. When you do it, you always have one hand up in the air, and that's called the Liberty, after the Statue of Liberty. Or you can go under it, and that's called the Lincoln, for the Lincoln Tunnel. And I think those are all the waves. I mean, that's
All the waves we've ever named, at least.
that's the waves.
So there you have it. So on some of
the
our
tip.
best beach days, they're full of Jeffries
Yeah,
and
those are-
floaters.
Yeah.
It's like a combo. Also, I personally at the beach really like to boogie board. Jess doesn't really like to boogie board so much.
I'm just really bad at it.
She really is. You're really bad at it. I wonder why. It's really not that hard.
Because like our
Do you think
brother,
you could be better if you really set your mind to it?
I could be better if I could boogie board while watching myself in a mirror. Because I don't really understand what my body does, so I have to watch myself in a full length mirror to know what I'm doing with my body.
You don't really have to do much with your body. You basically just let the wave push you.
But you're like lean forward, but no, pull back, and I'm like, I'd have to like look and see. Exactly.
But can't you just feel? It's kind of like when you're sledding. Like if you push too far forward, like when you're going down a steep hill, you can kind of go forward to get speed. But if you go too far, you're gonna like pile snow up on the front of your sled. So sometimes you have to lift up a little. Like you should just be able to sense it.
I've never done that while sledding. I've never thought at all like that while I'm sledding.
Wow.
I just sled, and sometimes I get stuck, and I'm like, why'd that happen?
Well, now you know.
I'm like, did I do that?
So Tim and I were doing a bunch of boogie boarding at the beach, and I always tease him that I'm a better boogie boarder because I'll catch waves and I'll get like all the way up on the beach, like onto the sand, where my knees get like rug burn, basically.
Do you really call it boogie boarding? You don't call it riding the waves?
Riding the waves is when you do it without a boogie board.
Why is it called a boogie board, though?
Because it's like you're boogieing. I don't know.
Okay.
And so then Tim's like, oh, well, that's just because you have this better boogie board. So then we traded, and I still crushed him. So then the one time we went up, and I boogie boarded like right up onto the beach, and it was in front of these two ladies who had their chair like pretty close because they were like getting the waves on their feet, and I was basically like laying right in front of them like a beached whale, and I kind of laughed, and I like told them, I was like, oh, my husband like always says that. Or I was like, I'm always teasing my husband that I'm better than him, but, like, he said it was because of the boards, but we just switched boards, and I still beat him, and they, like, kind of laughed. So then, like, a little bit later, we did it again, and we both got on the beach that time, but I got up further, and Tim was, like, closer to those same ladies, and they just, like, looked at him, and they were like, she still won! And I was like, haha.
That's funny.
So I felt really good about myself.
You did?
Yeah, I was like, these old ladies know that I am the boogie boarding champion of the Mahoney family.
Well, I hope that your husband doesn't get offended by me saying this, but he said something a few years ago about how you made him feel really good about himself, and he finally felt comfortable, like, going to the beach without a shirt on. Mm-hmm. So it made us think about how so many people are so self-conscious of their bodies, and hashtag everybody is a beach body.
Unless you don't like the beach, in which case, you's a freak. No, yeah, like, I feel like, especially as an adult, like, I don't know. To me, it's like, unless you're wearing, like, a muumuu, I can pretty much know what your body looks like, whether it's in a bathing suit or just, like, regular clothes.
Yeah.
And if you like to swim or, like, suntan, just do it. If you don't, like to swim, obviously you could wear your clothes if that's more comfortable for you. But, like, don't let the fear that, like, people will laugh at you, not, like, let you wear a bathing suit. Because, first of all, they're probably not laughing at you. And
Even
also,
if
like,
they are, it's like, whatever.
even if you feel fat, you're probably not the fattest person on the beach. So, there you go. You know, like,
yeah.
It's just silly. It's like, I would never want to let, like, my weight hold me back from doing the things I want to do. Because that's silly.
Well, sometimes it can. Like,
Well, I mean,
6-inch
physically it
heels.
could. Yeah, physically it could. But, like, I would never want, like, the fear of someone making fun of me or,
Yeah,
like,
even
calling
if it's
me
not
fat.
your weight, just, like, anything. Like, the fear
Yeah.
of what people think of you holding you back.
And also, it doesn't matter what you look like. People who want to be cruel will always find a way.
Of course.
So, like, when I was, like, super thin, you know, like, you know, and sometimes I know, like, kind of chubby people say, like, what, when I was thin, and they were still kind of chubby when then. But I was, like, actually really,
you sound
really
like a real jerk.
I'm
Do
just
you know
saying,
that?
well, I'm just saying, sometimes people say that, but I'm just saying to these people, if they've never seen me at my thinnest, I was very thin for a long time. And I was, like, at the water park with my friends, and then this guy just, like, walked up to me, and he was like, oh, what's up, Casper? And I was like, okay, I'm, like, wearing a bikini. I'm going outside every day. Like, there's literally not more I can do about the color of my skin. Like, I just happen to be extremely pasty. But I'm, like, so I was just kind of, like, cool.
You were like, it's fern to you.
Yeah, I'm, like, okay, like, why would you even say that to someone? I did not see the need. Like,
I know, people are rude.
you're pale. It's like, yeah.
It's like,
Oh, yeah, I am.
You're not blind.
Yeah, I'm like, cool.
You're like, I'm sorry I didn't blind you.
Yeah, right? I'm like, sorry I don't, like, suntan. Even if I could never go to a tanning salon because I feel like I would just crisp up in 2 seconds.
Yeah, I mean, it's like you said, people are going to find a way to be rude if they want to be, or cruel or whatever. So, I mean, it's like, just be yourself. Like, I've heard people, like, I love summer, and I, like, love sweaty dancing.
Ew.
And just, like, going to, like, a bar in the summer and, like, listening to a band play and just dancing for hours and just being, like, soaked in sweat. That is my jam.
That's gross. Why,
I love it.
I mean, do you prefer to be sweaty when you
It's
dance?
just more fun because you feel like you really did something. You were like, I was dancing so hard. Like, remember when we used to leave the bar and, like, our hair would be soaking wet because we were sweating so much?
Yeah, but that wasn't just in the summer. That's all the time.
Yeah, it's all the time, but in the summer there's something nice because then you go outside and you're just, like...
No, in the summer, like, you get dehydrated and get heat stroke. It's bad. You need that so then you can walk out in the winter air and, like, be refreshed.
Anyway, but, yeah, I don't know, but I like it in the summer because it's just fun. Like, I don't know. But then...
Okay.
And then you can just wear, like, shorts or something, and, like, when people... I remember someone I used to know, and she said... Oh, summer's coming. And I thought she just was, like, not excited about summer camp. It was, like, at my old place where I used to work. But she's like, oh, I'm going to have to wear a bathing suit soon. And I'm like, girlfriend, like, that's... I just wish that... I don't know. Like, I want the recipe to help people feel better about themselves. Because I'm like, that's sad. Like, it's just really sad that you're...
sad.
If you're, like, a 40-year-old person or a 30-something-year-old person and you're, like, still that self-conscious that you can't just do a thing you might want to do.
Right.
Or even just, like, enjoy something with your friends. Like, if your friends are going to the beach, you're not going to be there in, like, a sweatshirt and sweatpants probably because they're going to point that out too.
Right. Bless you. Oh, another one coming? Oh.
No.
She survived. Yeah, I know. It's pretty crazy. But, so, again, if you're out there, if you have a body and you like the beach, you have a beach body. So, just do your thing.
Speaking of beach bodies, we saw some interesting ones. The water this year was so clear, and we could see creatures.
Yes.
And I was like, oh.
Non-human creatures.
I like the good old days when, like, the water wasn't clear. And it wasn't bad. It was, like, the color it was supposed to be.
Yeah.
But you couldn't, like, see to the bottom. So I'm like, I liked that because I don't like being able to see
because every time you touch
all the
what's
things.
decidedly a crab, you're just like, ooh, seashell.
Oh,
Oh, broken seashell.
It's just a shell.
Another seashell.
There was like a piece of seaweed down there. That slimy thing must have been seaweed. But then we saw a bunch of skates, which are kind of like rays.
Yeah, or like flatfish. I'm not sure. They kind of looked like rays, but then the lifeguard said they were skates.
Yeah, but they had like the like long finny type arms. And
yeah, they kind of like flap through the water.
And then we saw like a horseshoe crab.
I didn't see that.
Someone saw that.
Saw
we
some
did not
sand
see the
crabs.
dolphins.
Tim tried to put a sand crab in my bathing suit.
Wasn't successful.
No. Luckily.
That's good.
You saw dolphins?
No, I didn't. I was trying to see them.
Yeah, I didn't see any dolphins. Now, one time at the beach, I'm pretty sure I saw a dolphin, like, really close to me in the water. So we were in Seaside, and I was swimming, and I was kind of far. I wasn't super far out. They don't let you go super far anyway, but, like, I was past the breakers, and I don't think there were a lot of other people around at the time, so I was, like, swimming kind of away from the main groups.
Yeah.
And then, like, sort of right in front of me, I saw something, like, porpoise out of the water. And it was just, like, really shiny, sort of black and, like, dark gray. I don't know what it was. I just turned around and swam as fast as I could back to the shore because I'm like, that was a big thing, whatever that was.
Yeah.
And I'm like, maybe it was nothing. But then I'm like, I think it was probably a dolphin because I think the New Jersey dolphins are, like, that darker
Yeah, they're
gray
much
color.
darker, yeah.
Yeah, so I'm like, I'm pretty sure there was, like, a dolphin, which, like, probably if I realized it was a dolphin in the moment, I might have been like, oh, cool. But no, it was, like, terrifying because it was really big and it, like, came up probably, like, 4 feet in front of my face. So I was like, oh, my God. And I just, like, ran out of there as fast as I could.
Yeah.
Have you ever seen anything scary in the sea besides sea turtles?
No. Not really. Not when I've been in the water.
Yeah, me neither. They're like little jellyfish, but not like anything super deadly.
Well, yeah, they had like
seen like the red
they had
jellyfish.
like the man of wars in like Bermuda.
Oh, did we see them?
When I was there with Mom, we saw there were like a bunch of them.
Oh, okay.
And so you kind of just tell the lifeguards, and then they'll go in and like get it.
Oh, they like
But
skim them out.
It's scary because like.
Oh, their tentacles are so long.
Yeah, their tentacles are so long. So, and there was like, when we were there, the waves were pretty good. So it was like, it was fun, but I mean, it was like a lot of work riding the waves. And I'm like, you wouldn't even know necessarily. It could like creep up on you. And I don't think it's like lethal or anything. It's just really painful.
Yeah, I don't think those ones are like venomous. They just hurt a lot. Or I don't know if they might have venom that hurts, but they're not like poisonous. They're not deadly, rather.
Yeah. So, but people would just be like, oh, there's another one, and so they would like pile them up on the beach.
Aw, that's kind of sad. Like kill them.
Yes, but people also kill mosquitoes.
Yeah, I know. I feel bad sometimes when they kill bugs. Like today, I killed 2 horseflies. I feel kind of bad when I kill anything. Like, when I kill bugs on my electric bug zapper, like, I feel always kind of guilty. Because I'm like, I'm sorry I just electrocuted you. It must have been traumatic.
She does it, and then she electrocutes herself as punishment.
Yeah, for penance, I flagellate myself with my... It's like a bug zapper that's like a tennis racket, so I just turn it around and hit it across my back.
Okay. Anyway. So, it was also fun because we were in the water all day, and it reminded me of a quote that one of Renee's ex-boyfriends said after spending a few days with us at the beach that was like, yeah, because when we dance all night, and when we swim all day. And we were like, yep.
I know. Sometimes, like, people try to say things like that to me as, like, an insult. They're like, you're just so extreme. When you dance the entire night. And when you swim the whole day. And I'm like, yeah.
Enjoy the things.
That's what I like. And this other guy's like, you guys are just like, oh, whatever. You don't like it? Deal with it. This is the way it is. Deal with it. Deal with it. Deal with it. And I was like, yeah. And like, well, it sounds like you just need to deal with it. What's the problem? Like, that's how I am. If you're not interested, that's fine. There's a door. Deal with it. And I literally never realized that was like our catchphrase until he said it. And I was like, oh my God, we literally say that all the time.
Yeah, that's pretty funny.
But what can you do? All right, so now we have to move on to our movie reviews, right?
Yeah.
We have a lot to catch up on. So why don't you start with the movie you saw without me?
What's popping at the movies?
Popcorn with butter. Finn likes popcorn now.
News break.
News break. News flash.
Breaking news.
Finn now enjoys popcorn. And this is how you know, like, he's
like
picky.
Popcorn, Finny?
He's like, he's not that picky because I asked him to hold my popcorn while I was getting his drink, and that's when he discovered he liked it because he was holding it. And he's kind of like looking at it. He like had a kernel. He's like, oh, I like popcorn now. I was like, see, I knew you would, but also now I have to share. So I'm like, damn.
I like that he likes movies.
Yeah,
he
likes
really
movies.
does, and like we go see a lot of movies. So the first movie is one that I saw with Momily. It's called Yesterday. I don't even know. It was cute. So essentially the premise is that this guy gets into a bike accident and this weird like phenomenon happens where like all over the world like the power goes out for 12 seconds. And then he gets in a car accident when that happens. Or he's on a bike. And then he wakes up and he's hanging out with his friends and he plays guitar and they give him like, or I guess his guitar broke because he was like had it on his back and he's like a musician, not very successful. So then he starts playing Yesterday. It's like by the Beatles. I don't even know.
Probably.
I don't know if it's by the Beatles or by just one of the members.
Beatles.
But he's singing that song, and then they're like, "When did you write that?" And he's like, "I didn't write it. Like John Lennon wrote it, or whoever." He's like, "It's for the Beatles," and they're like, "The what?" And then his friend is like, "Oh, people who know obscure music, they just think everyone knows it." And he's like, "The Beatles?" So then essentially he realizes that that the Beatles actually, this like weird alternate universe, like never existed. So then he starts recreating all their music and becomes like an extremely famous singer and like,
yeah,
it's fun. It was a cute movie.
And does it ever like revert or he just stays that way?
No, but there's like a few other people who do remember the Beatles and then they like track him down and it's interesting. So,
interesting.
So the next one was...
Wait, what's your thumbs?
Oh, I would say like a thumb and a half up. It was really cute. I thought it was like well done and
if you like,
Lily
did
James
they have a
was
lot of the music? A lot of
yeah,
Beatles
if you like
songs?
the Beatles, yeah.
Cool. All right.
They do change Hey Jude to Hey Dude.
And then do they say doo-doo-doo-doo-doo-doo?
Yeah.
It's like Momily was really excited to hear
Actually,
that.
there's a part where Ed Sheeran, because you know, like Ed Sheeran kind of like discovers him, I guess, in a sense, and then
Does Ed Sheeran play himself?
Yeah.
All right.
And so he like has him open for him, and then they're like hanging out afterwards, like with some of the like roadies and stuff, and the people who are on tour. And they do like a songwriting contest, and Ed goes first, and he plays it, and then the other guy goes, and then everyone's like, and then Ed is just like so like defeated looking, and he's like, okay, I'm like really bad at writing songs. It's pretty funny.
Oh, Ed Sheeran.
Yeah. Anyway, so the next one is one that Renee saw with her family. Secret Life of Pets.
Okay,
You're like, I don't remember.
So Secret Life of Pets 2. We saw this one. Finn wanted to check it out, and I was in the mood for popcorn, so we saw this. And I thought it was cute. I wasn't a huge fan of the original Secret Life of Pets. I thought it was sort of weird and like too much murder for my tastes for like a kids movie. But this one was pretty cute. There's like several storylines sort of going on at once. There's like 3 different stories, and then they like intertwine at the end to all go on this rescue mission. And it involves them saving like this baby tiger named Who from the circus, a really mean circus guy. So it was pretty cute. There were some parts that, as Jess would say, were unrealistic. Like the circus guy owns wolves, and he sends them out to like hunt for the tiger. And, like, seemingly no one in New York City notices that there's, like, a baby tiger and wolves running all over the city. So, like, it's never mentioned that they're trying to be caught by anyone else. But eventually the baby tiger finds a good home with a crazy cat lady. So, it was really cute.
That's cute.
Yeah. So, I'd say, like a thumb up. You know, it was not the best kids movie, but it was cute.
Nice.
Kids
That
probably will
made
like
me
it.
think of something, and I can't remember now. Oh, we never saw Toy Story 4.
No, we haven't seen that one. Well, I'm sure it's
Is
still
it
out
still in
somewhere.
theaters?
Probably.
Excuse me.
All right, so what's
I
up
burped.
next?
Next, when we saw this one in the drive-in, this is Spider-Man Far From Home. So it was a double feature. That's double feature. The first one was Spider-Man Far From Home, and the second one was Men in Black International. So Spider-Man Spider-Man Far From Home, I thought it was good. I liked it. I liked Jake Gyllenhaal's character. He was funny.
You liked his character?
I mean, I don't know.
He's the bad guy.
I liked it as it was enjoyable.
Okay.
Like I didn't like him. I wasn't like, oh, he's so great. He's a great guy.
Yeah, I watched. I'm not like you guys know. I'm not super into the Marvel movies.
You're not super into superhero movies.
So I haven't seen a lot of the Marvel movies, but I like this one. I thought it was good. I don't know if I love Mary Jane, the character in this. She's supposed to be
Zendaya or something, right?
I mean, not the actress. She's fine, but the character's supposed to be super cool. But I just feel like she kind of makes me roll my eyes.
Non-conformist.
Yeah, I'm okay.
okay.
A little too much.
Yeah.
But overall, I thought it was really cute. The movie was good. It was interesting. There was enough fight scenes, but not too much. And obviously there was stuff that harkened back to the other Marvel and Avengers movies, but it wasn't confusing if you haven't seen those other ones. Not when I tried to watch Infinity Wars and I was like, what is happening? But this one could definitely be a standalone.
I watched Infinity War and I wasn't so confused. I mean, then again, I did have TJ telling me, and he was like, that's Iron Man. I was like, TJ, I know that because I told you I saw Iron Man 2. Anyway, that's Thor. I'm like, TJ.
I feel like Tim will probably make fun of me about this. Have you ever watched Fargo, the TV show?
No.
So we started watching it the other day, and this guy's on there, and I was like, oh, that guy reminds me of Billy Bob Thornton. And Tim's like, this guy? And I was like, yeah. And he's like, that is Billy Bob Thornton.
I was like, okay, I know he's in that show, so are you about to say it's him?
He has dyed hair, so it's really dark black, and then his beard's totally black. And in the first scene, he's it's an action scene, but he's not talking at all, and it's kind of dimly lit, and he's disheveled because he was in a car accident. So you don't really see all of him, and then in the next scene he's talking, he's whispering, so you don't really get exactly the voice. And I was like, yeah, that guy really reminds me of Billy Bob Thornton. He's like, that is Billy Bob Thornton. And I was like, oh, well, good for me then, obviously. I was like, I've never seen him with brown hair. He's an iconic face and a very recognizable voice. I was like, okay, well, eventually I got it.
Oh my gosh.
And Bob Odenkirk's in that show too.
Oh. I can't hear his voice.
Bob Odenkirk's? Or Billy Bob Thornton's?
Oh, no, I was thinking that guy that plays Archer and Bob from Bob's Burgers.
Oh,
but
no.
That guy's
Benjamin H. whatever.
What, Saul guy?
Yeah, Better Call Saul, yeah. Anyway.
Okay, so
next up?
the next one. So how many thumbs did you give Spider-Man?
I would probably give 1.5 thumbs up. You give it a half thumb up?
Maybe a thumb. I don't really like Superman movies. Superhero movies.
Superman. It's insulting. I'd say a thumb and a half. It was pretty good.
Okay. Then the next one that we saw with our roommate / best friends, and my roommate / best friends, and Renee's best friends. And it was Midsommar.
Midsommar. I don't know how you say it.
It was really good. Spoiler alert, if you want to see it, skip forward because we are going to tell you about it. So, it's about this girl who has, anxiety and panic attacks. Mm-hmm. And her sister...
So much farting.
And her sister has bipolar disorder or something.
Yeah. So the opening is, really grisly, honestly.
Yeah.
And dramatic because basically, it opens on her worried about her sister. And then you find out that her sister, did commit suicide. And she also killed the parents. Yeah. So she basically, hooked up pipes to the exhaust of the car, and she sealed off the parents' room with tape, and she put the hose under so they got carbon monoxide. And then when they show her, she duct taped the hose into her mouth, so she's straight inhaling the carbon monoxide.
Yeah.
And she looked super deranged and creepy when they showed her body. And I was like, ugh, what is... At first I was like, are we in the right movie? Because this is not what I thought this was about.
Yeah.
Because at first, then I was like, is this going to be some kind of weird haunting thing? I don't know. But then it was really weird. But basically that was just setting it up that this girl now has no one.
Yeah,
her whole
so she
family
has
died.
no one. And then her boyfriend kind of wants to break up with her, but they stay together. He feels bad or whatever.
Yeah, he's thinking about breaking up with her, but then obviously her family dies, so he's not going to do it then.
Her boyfriend is in graduate school for anthropology, and him and his friends are going to this
festival.
Festival, and it's in Scandinavia or something. So it's
yeah, I think it's in Switzerland, right?
Okay, so it's but it's basically like light out most of the day.
Yes, it's really high. Oh, yeah, maybe it's like Norway or Sweden or something.
And they call it like midsummer. And he lives in like this really secluded like special community. So he's like, oh, I'm going to have you come to my festival. So they go, and then like some of the stuff is really strange or whatever. And they like, and then they allude to this like, I forget what they call it, but they're basically talking about the different cycles of life. So like the way that the people who are in like their young adulthood sleep is like they all sleep in like one big barn like together. Mm-hmm. And then they like then you move into this, so like you only live until like, and then you're into this stage, and that's your later life.
Every 18 years is like a new phase of life.
And then they're like, well, what happens after you're 72? And then they don't really like say anything.
No, the guy says like you die.
Oh, right.
So then like, haha.
The next day they have this festival or this ceremony where essentially these two old people kill themselves by jumping off a cliff onto this rock, and they show the people. It's so graphic.
It's very
graphic.
Like, it's like comically graphic because it's like so graphic that it just looks ridiculous.
But I was like covering my eyes and squinting, and I was like, I don't want to like miss the movie, but I also don't want to see that, so if it comes I'm going to close my eyes really fast. So I was like had my eyes barely open. I was like covering them because it was like really gross. So they show it was the lady first, right? And she
swan dives into the rock.
Her face hits the rock, and then they show her bouncing off with like her face just like completely half off, and like her eye popped out, and it's just like so disgusting. Then the man falls, but he doesn't actually die. So then
because he just like jumped like a pencil dive.
His leg was like a compound fracture.
Like completely ripped off his leg.
And then they like show them like smashing his face with hammers, essentially like mallets.
Not like a hammer; it's like a huge mallet,
like a sledgehammer.
It's like bigger than a sledgehammer.
And it's really gross. And then there's a lot of other, like, really kind of, like, barbaric rituals, I guess. And it gets really creepy and crazy. And
the one girl, like, loves the guy, so she, like, casts a love spell on him, which includes, like, mixing her pubic hair into his food.
And her menstrual blood into his drink.
Yes, that was really gross.
So so it was, like, I thought it was really good. It was super interesting, the plot.
It was interesting because it was, like, I would say horror, but not exactly horror. It definitely wasn't like a slasher flick.
Yeah.
And there was gore, like we described, but that's like not for most of it.
Yeah.
And it doesn't really take you exactly where you might have anticipated in the previews. In the trailers, I thought it was just going to be like they go to this festival, then they like start getting killed.
Yeah.
You know, but it wasn't exactly like that. So I would say it's worth a watch. It was pretty interesting. It was long. It was like 2.5 hours.
It didn't feel, and it was like some parts were a little slow, but it didn't feel super long.
No,
I felt like
but
what was happening,
it is long for that kind of movie.
Yeah, I feel like what was happening, I was like intrigued the whole time, and I wasn't like, when's this going to be over?
Yeah, it was pretty good.
I'd give it like a 1.5 thumbs up.
Yeah, I would probably say the same. Pretty good. Pretty creepy.
The last one we have is The Lion King. So, yes.
So we saw the new Lion King.
And in the opening scene, if you've seen Lion King before, which, as you know, is one of my all-time favorite films. Sorry,
Ew,
burpee.
So gassy.
I just did my burpees. So while the movie started, they do the part where the giraffes and stuff are walking up to the Pride Rock, and then you see Rafiki, and Renee whispers to me, I wonder if he'll sneeze, because in the film, in the animated version, Rafiki puts the like powder or the juice or whatever on, is it powder?
It's like a powder, yeah.
Like on Simba's forehead.
He like cracks open the thing.
Oh yeah, and then it like gets a little bit on him, and Simba sneezes. And they did actually do that in this one, and it was so cute.
Yeah, it was really cute.
I think it was good. Like, I don't know who played Scar. I guess, like, maybe they thought, like, he wasn't a great singer. Because they redid Be Prepared to more or less be, like, chanting and, like...
And, like, one verse.
Yeah.
It's, like, really short.
That's one of Renee's favorite songs.
Yeah.
And then also, it's kind of, like... It's almost like they wanted to make some of it more realistic, because you know how when it's in I Just Can't Wait to Be King, like all the animals make like
they
huge
pile
shower,
up. Yeah, they didn't do anything.
And then they
like
fall on Zazu, and I'm like, they didn't do that, so I was like, I guess they're like trying to make it more realistic, but I'm like, okay, like I don't know.
Yeah, I was like, and then there's like this really weird part. So if you've seen like the original Lion King, you know that like, okay, I don't really love all the character choices they made for Rafiki, because he's like one of my favorite characters in all of Disneyhood. Yeah. He's really cool. And they made some bizarre choices for him, I felt. But like in the traditional Lion King, you know, there's a part where, like, Simba, it's, like, after he has that talk with Timon and Pumbaa about, like, the stars, right? And he goes and he's, like, feeling a little sad, and he lays down. And when he lays down, he puffs out, like, dust and other debris that, like, comes out from under him. And then people say it, like, spells sex or whatever, right? Like,
yeah.
So then, like, that, like, dust floats away, and then, like, Rafiki finds it, and he, like, does his little magic on it, and he's like, ha-ha, Simba, he's alive!
Yeah.
You know, and he's really excited about it. So in this one, what's happening is, like, Simba's, like, giving himself a bath, and then, like, some of his fur comes off. Or he, like, he lays down and his fur poofs off.
Yeah, tough.
And then, like, it blows into a tree, and a giraffe, like, eats it along with some leaves. And then, like, a dung beetle is rolling this giraffe poop around with the hair embedded in it. And then the poop, like, falls and cracks, and the hair, like, comes out and eventually makes its way to Rafiki. And I'm like, was that necessary? Like, and also, like, I was saying, what, as soon as Rafiki picks it up, he's going to be like, smells like giraffe poop. And Simba! Like, it was so weird. I was like, that's really bizarre. Like, it just seemed totally unnecessary. Strange. I think they just wanted to show some, like, cool CGI. I don't really know what they're thinking was.
I have no idea. It was really strange. And then another weird thing was that, one of my favorite parts in the movie is when when Simba is trying to figure out who he is or whatever, and Rafiki bonks him on the head, and then he's like, ow, that hurt. And then he's like,
sometimes the past hurts.
Does he hit him again first? I don't remember. Then he tries to hit him again, whatever. At some point, like, Rafiki, and then Simba, like, ducks, and Rafiki's like, yes, the past can hurt, but it's better to, like, learn from it than to run from it. Yeah. And so, but, like, in this one, Rafiki never has his, like, stick.
Right.
And then
until the end.
At the very end, when the fighting starts, he, like, goes into his tree, and he, like, pulls this stick out, and he's like, hello, my old friend.
Yeah, it was really weird. Especially because he didn't really speak English for a lot of the movie.
It was really strange.
So, like, why would he, like, say that in English?
So the Rafiki thing, I don't understand, yeah.
I just feel like he was a great character, and they, like, changed him in a lot of ways that I was like, why? He was so perfect before. He's such a silly, crazy baboon.
And
mandrill,
the Mufasa death scene is, like... The original one is so heart-wrenching and, like, beautifully done. And JTT, props, he was really good in that. Like, his acting was good.
Yeah. He sounded like a lion cub whose dad just died.
It was really, really sad. And, like, we got our tissues ready, and I was crying during it. But it wasn't as good. It wasn't, like, as moving as in the animated version.
Which seems weird.
I know.
But, yeah.
Because they didn't do the part where he's like, gotta go home now, Dad. And then, like, he laid next to him, but it was so sad in the animated version where he, like, goes under his paw.
Yeah, he, like, picks his paw up and, like, snuggles underneath.
And he's, like, crying.
Yeah.
And in this, he, like, wasn't really crying. He was just, like...
I guess lions don't cry. I don't know.
I guess, yeah. That's probably why they did it. But he could be like, oh.
And also
like
the hyenas were extremely creepy looking. They didn't really look like hyenas. They looked like weird. I
was saying to Renee, like, there was a part in the elephant graveyard. There were, like, 30 hyenas, and I was like, they could definitely overtake Mufasa. Like, yeah. I thought it would be better if there were just the 3.
Yeah, it was interesting. But maybe they just, like, wouldn't want to kill Mufasa because he is, like, the king.
Yeah.
And I like that Mufasa was still played by James Earl Jones. But also I feel like some of the scenes, like, from the first movie, I felt like they were really rushed. Like, they like... Even, like, the scene where they talk about, like, him being disappointed in Simba, like, I felt like it was, like, rushed and kind of weird, like...
But actually, I think a lot of it was very similar. Because he, like...
I think it was, but I don't know if it's just the cartoon makes it feel different.
Yeah, because you expect it to be, like, a little faster.
Yeah.
Because it was almost exactly the same. Because he was, like... He's like, I was disappointed. And then he's like, I was just trying to be brave like you. And he's like, you're not scared of anything. He's like, I was scared today. And then he's like, see the stars, they're the kings. And then they, like, kind of...
He also doesn't say that part where he's like, being brave doesn't mean you go looking for trouble.
That's true.
And that's, like, a really good line.
That's true.
But they did say...
I know, it's weird, because they had so many, like, lines that were exactly the same, and then they took out, like, some parts.
Yeah, like, really random parts, I feel like.
That's true.
And even, like, the beginning, too, when, like, after the coronation, or whatever that thing is, the presentation of Simba, they, like, show that mouse for, like, an hour getting to Scar's place. The little mouse. I'm like, why? Like, when is it so unnecessary? I don't know why they kept doing that.
Yeah. Anyway, so
overall,
how many thumbs would you give it? I'd give it, like, 1 up.
I would probably give it, like, 1.5, because if I'm judging it as, like, a standalone movie,
But it can't.
But obviously, in comparison to the first, I would say, like, 1. It's definitely not nearly as good as the first, the original.
Yeah.
But I did like the singers. Like, I thought Childish Gambino did a really good job as adult Simba.
Yeah, he was good.
And Beyonce did a really good job, too. So, they were good.
All right, so we're going to wrap up here. So we're just going to remind you of our socials.
And also remember to tell a friend. You know,
Yes.
if you could tell a friend and they could start listening now, and then by the time they get through all the episodes, if they do like 2 a week, it'll be like ready for season 2, basically.
If you tell a friend, you can earn an imaginary high five from us. Redeemed at any
Those are
time.
valuable.
Those are value. Those are true
Choice
value.
value.
Okay.
Right, so plug away, girl.
So
the surge predictor. It's full of plugs.
Okay, I'm leaving. So dumb.
That's from the
dumbest.
Beefy Boys. You would know if you listened, but you're not a good fan.
Called me out. You're right. I don't listen to them anymore. Okay, so our website is dearfootsisters.com. You can check us out on facebook.com/dearfeetpodcast, Instagram, Twitter, and YouTube at Dearfoot Sisters. And yeah, so you can check us out. You can contact us on the web or whatever. And let us know what you guys want to hear in season 2. Let us know your favorite summer movies. If you think it's called Snarf or Scarf. Let us know what kind of scarves you like to wear.
Yeah. And Merry Christmas. Oh, oh, oh.
We're the Dearfoot Sisters.
Oh, we're the Reindeer Sisters.
We're the Reindeerfoot Sisters, and we're prancing away.
Prancing, prancing. Ching, ching, ching.
Let's go play some reindeer games.
That's Jingle Bells, in case you were wondering. The sound I was making.